I'm joined in studio now with Nikki Wesley of the Metroland Media Group, and Nikki has kind of brought in some material that you will find in your local papers across the Halton region. And I guess we'll start off first in Oakville talking about some athletes.
That's right. So the Constantopoulos brothers, we caught up with them, and they both have just come back from winning national titles with their respective Ontario lacrosse teams this summer. And it's a really neat story by Herb Garbett, and it starts out with their mother, Michelle, telling us all about how she didn't want either of her sons to play goalie in hockey, and how they transitioned to lacrosse and both ended up in net. And both have been incredibly successful and have vastly different styles of goalkeeping, but as you can see, they're mean behind that crease, so they're very successful.
It's quite the gear that they have to wear too. I mean, really, when you take a look.
Yes, and it's interesting because their last name is quite long, so having the goalie padding, it fits all the way across their jersey.
Okay, fantastic. And so as we head kind of around the region, we also look at how it was back to school, and our police officers were certainly out there last week,
yes,
patrolling the roads and making sure our students were safe.
Yeah, so those first couple of days of school, they did Safe Start, all hands on deck, and even the police chief came out to various schools around the region, just making sure that people, we're going the speed limit in the school zones, and just making sure everyone's aware school's back, you need to slow down. And a couple of the officers went and spoke with some of the students, and I know that these two young ladies were absolutely thrilled to speak with this sergeant, and it was really neat to see them interacting. And also, a couple of columns that we've got this week on Inside Halton include, talking to your kids about, how was school? And not just saying, how was school? Oh, it was good. What did you read today? What studies are you doing? Like, is there anything you're really enjoying? Because there's a lot of pressure on kids, not only with school, but also relationships with other kids, and all of that sort of compounds. So really talking to your kids and helping with their mental health is really important. And then there's another column that we've got about keeping parents healthy to help keep their kids healthy. So, making sure you're eating nutritiously, and some strategies to do that now that, you go from school to hockey practice to ballet practice to piano.
Yeah, if you think about it, I mean, there isn't a lot of time at the end of the day after work, and it is hard as parents to, of course, take care of your kids and get them to all their practices and take care of yourself and get to the gym. So, so you have some great tips on that.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. I'm sure there's lots of parents out there just eager to take a look at what those tips might be.
Absolutely.
And now as we head around the region as well, we head to the north, and you have a really interesting article as well that's in there about a local farmer.
Yeah, so up in Milton, Jerry Brooks heard on the CBC about a Nova Scotia farmer who had, who had branded specifically for Saudi Arabia a whole bunch of maple syrup, and then what happened was there was some trade wars. What ended up happening was that he couldn't ship it to Saudi Arabia, and so Jerry Brooks heard about this story on the CBC, and him and 3 other folks in Ontario purchased 450 liters of maple syrup and brought it over here, just so the farmer in Nova Scotia just didn't take that major hit. So he had to sell it through markets and all of that, because as it wasn't, he owns a furniture store up in Milton.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, and I look forward to continuing to see what else is available, and you can check out all those articles as well online at InsideHalton.com. As well, make sure you follow them on Instagram, Halton Photog. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, Kristen.